everybody, it's time for Off the Ledge. It is Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. It's Sadhguru's birthday. There he is. Happy birthday, Sadhguru! He says he doesn't make a big deal about it and that you're just 1 year closer to death. But, you know, that's him. Sadhguru made us promise to, well, we pledged to commit our lives and promise to make the world a more happy, joyous, and peaceful place. So I want to pass that along to you. I promise to make the world a more happy, joyous, and peaceful place. I say it every day, and it's been a lot of years now. Try it on, see how it fits. As you can see, it's a windy day behind me. Beautiful day. Just perfect. And so I'm appreciating this fine weather. It's a little bit of a drought, but we'll get rain. I'm coming at this a little bit late this morning because I did watch the Epstein victims hearing, the press conference, and really astounded by what I saw. I did notice the commotion. I think that Dumpy requested some kind of a military flyover. That's about, I didn't really feel like he'd be able to distract very much from this, and he wasn't. There was a lot of noise in the background at certain points, but we got to hear what we needed to hear, and there'll be more, and we'll look into psychic forecasts for all that tonight. It is Wednesday, and we have Psychic News Network tonight, so make sure you check that out. Also, yesterday, I want to tell you a little story, and I call it, I'm going to call it the bunny story. While I was seeking guidance, which I do every day when I walk, yesterday, and we were all wondering about Dumpy's health and what we were going to see with his health, with this stupid, silly, it was just yesterday, stupid, silly appearance, announcement that he was going to make. And I did a PNN on the Rocks yesterday evening, and you can go and watch that and hear what I said about that after the fact. Prior to that, yesterday morning, sometimes I text Kathy Beal and I say, I'm going for a walk, I'll let you know what guidance I get on the way. So I came back and I texted her this story. I saw a bunny. It was like on the road, but on the side of the road. And cars had kind of come by and they were kind of looking to see what was going on with this bunny. And it looked like it was stunned, and I couldn't tell if it was injured as I was walking past. So I stopped, and I was about to maybe go help to just nudge the bunny with my foot to the side of the road so it wouldn't splatter in front of me. Sorry for the graphics. And then animal control came, and we couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. People that were sort of passing by couldn't tell what was wrong with the bunny, but something was clearly wrong with the bunny. It looked like it was shocked. It looked like it might have been injured. And then so the animal control girl came out in her van, and I looked at her and I was like, I think it's in shock. And so she put a towel. She threw a towel over the bunny, and the bunny hopped away. But then she picked it up and took it, and she said, "Yeah, we're not sure what's going on with the bunny." So I tell you that story because it was the same moment we were all wondering what's up with the Donald. And the being in shock, people not knowing, wondering, calling in the authorities, right? And then not really knowing what was wrong with the subject. Nature speaks. When we ask our guides for answers, if we just remain open and expect answers and expect information and guidance, we will receive it. Before I read Ernest Holmes, I want to mention that after watching the press conference with the Epstein victims, I testify that we are seeing miracles. It's my testimonial. Every single week, every day, we pray for miracles here. We intend, if you're not into praying for whatever reason, we intend for miracles to be happening. We talk about it every week at Church of Spirituality. We talk about it Thursday nights when we do our guided meditation. We are all in on expecting miracles. That I actually saw Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'll use her real name instead of Trader, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Nancy Mace, two women that I just cringe when they're about to open their mouths for what usually comes out. They're advocating for the victims. That's a miracle. I haven't really seen a time as of recent years where so-called Democrats and Republicans come together and find common ground. So I don't care what anyone says. We're witnessing a freaking miracle. So let's stay on that bandwagon. Let's really think about times in American history that we have lived through, and maybe that we haven't lived through because they happened so long ago. I would like for us all to focus today on when America just rallied after 9/11, for instance. The anniversary is coming up. When Americans rallied together with a common cause, and we got it done. America has done amazing things. Think about how devastated we were after 9/11. Think about how it seemed like nothing would ever work again, right? And people came together. And after January 6th, as much as, the nation has been gaslit and Fox has been complicit in making it out to be something that wasn't a big deal, we still kept our democracy. So let's look at the time that we're in as the first time in history in our lives that we've had to fight fascism. But let's look at us fighting back on fascism. And when we fight, my jellyfish is in the way. When we fight, we win. And when we fight, we win. I think that was prophetic in Kamala's campaign, along with "We're not going back." I'm chatty today. Let's listen to Ernest Holmes for September 3rd. God intelligence governs our daily thoughts and actions. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ. Wait for the motorcycles to go by. Believing that the mind of God is ever present, the divine intelligence is always available, we open our consciousness to its guidance. Realizing that our attention must not be divided between believing and doubting, we carefully guard our mental reactions, seeking always to keep them affirmative, to keep them open to that which is constructive. Thank you, Ernest, for reinforcing the message. We keep our minds steadfast and loyal to the thought that we are governed by divine intelligence, which always knows what we ought to think and do and how we should do it. We feel that we are compelled to make right and constructive decisions, that we are impelled to right action, that there is something within us that always knows how to think and how to act. Daily, we reassure ourselves of this divine fact and affirm that the intelligence that governs all governs us, that the life that flows through everything flows through us, that there is one mind, which is God, that this mind is our mind, and so it is. All right, back to the bunny story. I think my takeaway was that we were all wondering what was going on with this strangely acting creature. We'll look into it more tonight, I promise. 7 p.m. Eastern. Let's listen to Kathy Beale's forecast for today.
This is Kathy Beale of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro Insight for September 3rd, 2025. The way we look at things, the way we think, the information, sources that we expose ourselves to all must change. We have no choice. Today brings that home in a huge way. We're all being pushed to adjust our thinking about leaders, to adjust our thinking about our own ability to lead, and simply to open ourselves to completely new ways of thinking. Could be some really shocking information flying around today. Ultimately, it will be good. That's all.
Yeah, I agree with that. That press conference was really something. And by the way, about almost an entire year ago, I went to Tennessee and stayed at Sadhguru's ashram, Isha. And during the darshan that we all sat with him, he mentioned at the very end, and you might remember that I said this, he said that this is a time for the women. It's time for the women. So on his birthday, you know, let's see, let's envision, let's know, let's hold in our consciousness the mental space of this country heals and the women heal. The women rise up. Just briefly, last night I went on a ghost tour in Salem because I'm considering being hired as a tour guide if it works out, and I heard the most horrific stories. I mean, I'd heard them before, but when a different person, you know, recounts the story, you know, you hear things in a different way, and everyone adds more facts to the story depending on who it is. It's horrifying what they did to women back during the witch hunts and trials. So let's really know that we are making progress. That this era of suppressing women because they're strong and powerful has ended. It's coming to an end. All right, let's take a look at the cards for today. To book a session, please go to psychicannetbeyond.com. If you'd like to become a member, you have access to all of my classes and presentations. They're just under videos, most of them set to members only. You can become a member and learn all this stuff for as little as $7.99 a month. And if you can afford to give more per month, that really goes a long way. And thank you to those of you who do. 3 cards to guide us. All right, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, there's a big thunderbolt happening. There's a big change and breakthrough happening. I'm looking forward to doing a psychic reading on Dumpy's reaction to what happened today. I get that he's numbing out. So this is a thunderbolt, big disruptive change for the better. We're going on an adventure. Things are going to be changing. You will see it, you will feel it, you will know it, especially when you go into the silence. So speaking of Sadhguru as I am today, download, if you haven't already, the free app Miracle of Mind and meditate. You'll hear his voice and he'll guide you through a meditation in as little as 7 minutes. All right, I look forward to seeing you later. Once again, thumbs up please and subscribe, and have an awesome day. I hope it's as beautiful where you are as it is here. Namaste.